I
Oh,
don't
that's a
think so.
good one,
Fuck 'em.
Cav. That's a good one. But I was
Yeah,
about
do
to
we owe
go
them something? Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
going
could care
into
less about
that,
it. Yeah.
going into that one, that's the fiction that they told us in history
Told us.
that white people
Mm-hmm.
guided us and helped us through that
Mm-hmm.
judge.
They
I
want us
think
to
that's
think
part
that.
of the narrative to make it seem
Yeah.
like that they helped us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Like we
that's
put you in it, but we also got you out.
But we also got you out
exactly,
of it. That it was because
exactly.
of good white people.
Right. Right.
Allies, as they want to be called now.
Yes. That helped you to be free.
Yeah. So again, we don't even know if that's true or not. But at the
But we
same
don't know if that's
time,
true.
added to that, if it be that reason, they made it that way. They made it to where they will only shut out anything outside of white when speaking in, or whatever supremacy is in the mental state of what we see it as. They made it that way for white people to supposedly help us out.
Integration only benefited white people. Because now they have access to our resources and our money.
Definitely.
Integration didn't benefit us, even though they made the whole civil rights movement about we need to integrate so that we could be equal. Because what happened was
equality.
let's talk about what happened. So what happened was we integrated. Before, we had our own businesses, we had our own hospitals, we had our own schools, we had our own bus lines.
We was running a lot of things.
But somewhere we got brainwashed into thinking we wanted to integrate because we wanted to ride on the white buses. So then when we started riding on the white buses, now the black cab companies went out of business, the white bus companies went out of business, all the black, we want to go to the white hospitals. Now the black hospitals went out of business.
Right.
Because now we're giving our money to the white people instead of giving our money to our own community. And that's why we never. So integration wasn't, somehow they talked somebody into thinking that integration was beneficial to us, and it wasn't.
To us. Right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, we should have known better anyway.
Well, why didn't we? But why didn't we know better?
We did know better. But they just can't. I think a lot of history is implemented to go the way that it went on purpose. So I think a lot of false stuff is implemented on purpose to draw us away from this. But I also think a lot of it was also implemented, done purposely to keep us that way, because once you enforce ignorance, once you enforce that, I don't think people even have once you enforce that, I don't think you have the awareness to want to fight back. If that's the best, that's like the best way I can explain it right now. Like, I don't think you have the awareness or the urge to want to fight back, because the ignorance that's been instilled in you, it separates you from knowing that this is not how a person is supposed to be treated. Something like that. That's like the best way I can explain that. But before we head out, man, white people is they're so antagonizing to the human race. Like, the existence of white people just antagonizes human race.
Because we dominate everything.
Everything.
I mean, you just got to think, if you get an ounce of black blood in you're fucking black.
Which is, by us dominating everything, which is that's really one of the major reasons why they wanted us anyway.
That's part of self-hate on their end, though. They self-hate themselves.
They don't think
for
they're good
not
enough.
Being exactly what you did. They're not good enough.
Yeah. But then they try to make us think that we're not
everything.
Everything. It's like,
we dominate this whole existence of modern technology, or just the modern world that we live in, only exists because of our minds.
All of us. Yep, it's us.
And I thought about I talked about what I just said to Lakira, and I was like, she had brought up the fact of, do you think we think this way because of the system itself, the way that we were brought up? I was like, well, I think a big part of that is why, but I don't think that it's racism to the degree of what racism is, or how what racism is really, not how they use racism, but what racism really is. I don't think it's that degree, because the way white people write history, or let's just go with let's give white people some benefit here. Let's just say they didn't write history. Whoever wrote history wrote them niggas as being not only the niggas of history, but at the same time wrote them in empowerment. So
Yes.
if
Whoever
they
wrote
didn't, yes, whoever wrote it, and if they didn't write it, them niggas are writing the coattails of whoever wrote it if they didn't write it. Therefore,
Yeah.
giving them niggas the evilness that they are, why they're so antagonizing to the human race. And yes, by the system being instilled in us for so long, that's why the John Wick method has to be implemented, because that's the only way we can rewrite some stuff.
I mean, let's go back to who. I mean, you can just go back to. I mean, it goes back to money. You know, like how did the
Religion, then
Rockefellers
money.
become?
Oh, you know what? It probably
Yeah.
was money, and then religion came about to get that.
And
that
then became
more.
a bunch. Okay, so let's talk about Rockefeller. So Rockefeller rewrote the whole education system. He rewrote the whole medical system, right? You know, like even now, you just think so as why isn't how to be an entrepreneur taught in schools? Why isn't credit and the stuff that we need to learn in school not being taught?
They don't teach it.
They don't. The shit we need to know is not being taught in school, because Rockefeller wanted to create employees.
And you know, to piggyback off that,
And the employee
my bad. Go
mentality
ahead.
is totally different than an entrepreneur mentality.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off that, when they was teaching it, economics and stuff like that, when we were coming up in school, Kev, we had economics, and that taught us what to do in the kitchen. It taught us what to do in the bedroom, how to keep it tidy. Taught us what to do outside of school. Health, all that outside of school.
We learned trades, and we learned trades back in that day.
Yep.
And how to bake a cake.
By knowing a trade, you're able to become an entrepreneur.
There you go.
As opposed to working for somebody else.
Yes, and I think those classes were implemented into the system just as a decoy to do what they're doing now. Let's take the government and what they're supposed to be doing with tax money and all that stuff. For example, we got a 4-way stop up the street from us that's been on the street, been shut down for the longest. Remember, it's a 4-way stop. Keep that in mind. This mud been shut down for the longest. This mud just recently got opened up, and that had turned that into a freaking roundabout type thing. You know, you just keep rolling, and I'm like, this is the BS that the government say that they're doing to help civilization. This does nothing to progress civilization. First of all, you're now saying that we're too ignorant, we're too retarded, we're too stupid to stop at a stop
to make a complete stop
that was already here before you made a 4-way stop already. You tore down a 4-way stop to create a different 4-way stop. This is where the tax money that they claim is going, which they just doing again, implementing and throwing this as a decoy to say that we are using the tax money that for what it's used for, instead of giving it to us during a shutdown. You know, the help that's supposed to help,
Right.
Me make it make sense. Help me to
Exactly.
make it make sense.
And that's what
Right.
I think the stuff that
Exactly.
the economics and stuff that we had back when we were growing up were just decoys implemented in it to make it say, hey, yeah, we are doing this. Things happen like inflation, which is basically the jumpstart to genocide. And now we can't have life teaching anymore. And ah,
Because I think most schools have taken, like they've taken most of the trades out of schools. They've taken most of I don't think they teach economics anymore. I think a lot of those things have been taken out of schools. And then I
Yeah.
mean, I
Home ec.
always
Yeah.
talk about why are colleges and universities more prevalent than trade schools?
I want to add to the whole thing. They're not learning nothing in school. The only thing they're learning is how to count to 10. The only thing, if you know how to count to 10, you know how to do the rest of math. If you know how to count to 10, you know
We
how to
never
start
did
doing
learn
100.
nothing in school.
We never learned
We never
anything in
did.
school. And you know what I thought about? I thought about this too. Don't we have math problems that end in the negative number? I was thinking about this. Remember, Kev, last episode when I was talking about the depths, the fear of what we probably already know, the depths of what we got to go to relearn everything that we know,
You have
everything
to
that we
unlearn and
know.
relearn.
The depths
Right.
of that. I thought about this math thing here. I'm like, we got some math problems that end in the negative.
In the negative.
So why does this what did they call that? Please remember my dear Aunt Sally. That acronym for help.
Oh, I remember that.
What is it
See,
called
P
mathematically?
R man.
When you gotta
Don't give
do
me the line. 'Cause
parentheses first, then division, and then
Oh yeah.
that. So it made me think about that. I was like, why is that the right answer? That thing there. That please remember that dear.
Formula.
Yeah, that formula. That's what
The
the
right
word
yeah,
I'm
answer.
looking
that
for.
formula.
Or
That
the
formula.
sequence in which you're supposed to do,
Exactly.
Right.
like the
The
Exactly.
parentheses
breakdown.
first,
The
and
breakdown.
then yes. Why is that right? Is
Exactly.
that right?
Why is
Yeah.
that right? Why we gotta go? If it's written as times this, and then parentheses next, and then times that again plus negative, why do we have to go with the parentheses first, and then go to the this, and then the division? Why is that the answer versus just doing it in order? And that's the
Right. And just
answer.
getting what you get naturally. Right.
My question is, where have I applied that since I've been an adult?
Well, you're a coach. You do that
Nowhere.
all the time.
And I just don't realize it.
I don't know.
I've
I don't
applied it
know.
and I don't realize it. I put the parentheses first, and then I
No,
multiply and then I divide.
like parentheses means push-ups. You do the push-ups first, and then you do. Don't
Right.
come to me with this
When,
multiplication.
just explain to me, where have I applied that in my adult life?
So much
Exactly.
of
Why did I need to
school.
learn that? And how did that make me ready to be an adult?
I don't see how. I don't see how it was applied to it.
We got taught so retardedly in school. That's why we were raised by
Yes,
retards. We were raised by
yes.
retarded. Our parents were retarded because of the educational system, and also due to the I call it the stuck in your
Mm.
ways syndrome. Like like thought
Yeah.
process. You
Like
you
this is the way it's always been because this is what I've been taught.
exactly,
Right.
and we got taught.
Yep.
We were raised by that. We were raised by
I love
that.
my mom. My mom is 72, and I love her to death, but it is so difficult having a conversation with her because of the
Yeah.
old way of thinking that
Yeah.
she talks. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yep.
feel bad that I can't go visit as often as I want to because she drives me absolutely crazy
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
just the level of conversation
For
because
real.
of how she was taught, what she was. And then my mom is,
Hmm.
is caught up in the whole religion thing and what she believes with.
Oh,
I mean, she
oh.
Oh my God,
You
it
got to
is
come back, please,
bad.
on a Challenge Our
Yeah,
Belief
my mom is
It
episode.
is
71, so
bad. It's bad.
yeah.
Oh my God. And I feel so bad that I can't just